Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Sadie and Friends. Just reminding you to go ahead and check out the folks at Garage Door Service and Sales. You know, recently the keypad on our garage door broke. You really don't know how much that disrupts your everyday life until it happens. And that's why I'm so glad to know the folks at Garage Door Service and Sales, because Patrice, her and her family, they have owned this business for decades. So many decades, in fact, I wasn't even alive. And I've been alive for like a really long time. They were chugging away for 2 decades before I showed up. And I'm so glad that I now have people to call, whether it's something small like the keypad on the garage door, it's just being funky, or maybe it's something big like, hey, we want to completely change the look of our home, so we want a new garage door. That's what they do at Garage Door Service and Sales. So give them a call today, or better yet, go online to see what they have to offer. GarageDoorServiceandSales.com. Garage Door Service and Sales, a proud sponsor of the Sadie and Friends podcast.
I'm going to say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Let's talk about marriage.
They have like a 2-second rebound rate and you're back doing the next pain in the ass thing.
Parenting. Oh my gosh.
They have sucked the pretty right out of me. They treat me like it, and I do their laundry. Lucky me.
Sex.
I'm caught between two evils. I generally like to take the one I never tried.
Scary stuff like ghosts. I know it's totally out of left field, but just go with me on this.
Boo, you whore.
Love.
I give you what you need. That's all. I'm talking about taking care of each other the best you can. What's wrong with taking care of a woman? She takes care of you.
Friendships.
Wink and her necklace says best friends forever.
Actually, you want it to say forever? I don't think you guys will be best friends forever, no offense. But sometimes you grow apart, and maybe she'll find a new best friend. They end up doing everything together.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Sadie and Friends. I'm just going to jump right into the pool, and I'm going to ask you a question right now, and I'm going to bomb you with it. Would you or wouldn't you? Because I preemptively am going to answer and say, I would so take the money on this. Simon Cowell was recently on another podcast, but he was on a podcast and he was talking about how he's had crazy like fan experiences, right? Like somebody will come up and they'll freak out because he's Simon Cowell. And so he had a couple come up to him and the guy said, we're big fans. It was a normal conversation. And then the guy says, yeah, would you judge me and my wife having sex together? And we'll give you $150,000.
Yes. Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Do you want commentary with it? Another $10K, I'll give you commentary.
I'm disgusted. Because I started to think about it like, okay, Sadie, how much would it take for you to watch someone having sex and, you know, and how much would I have to be paid to critique that? And because they said we want to be judged by you. We want to be judged by you. And
but
so
they're doing it for the experience of Simon Cowell's persona, not because they think that Simon Cowell has something to offer in commentary of their sexual habits.
First of all, can you truly be honest for if you're getting paid $150,000? Do you feel like you should get paid before? Because I bet a lot of people having sex is very ugly to see. It's a very fugly sight. I'm not saying that I'm not even one of those people because I'm sure I look just awful. But to watch, would you feel I would have to be paid preemptively? It would have to be like, you got to give me cash.
Yeah.
And then they take the cash away and then I will give you my true opinion. You know, your bowels are too saggy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sure.
I love getting your reaction on things when you don't expect it.
Sure.
But you would do that? I'm disgusted at how little I do it for. You know what my bottom line was?
$75.
$500. But I swear if someone came at me with $2, I think I'd do it. But you would have to be in the room with them. It's not none of this
Judging.
nonsense
Just
of
judging,
like, yeah,
watching,
they
commentary.
send you a video.
Yeah, you're doing play-by-play like an NFL game.
How would that even... So wait, I don't think you have to give commentary. They want to be judged.
I think I'd want to give commentary.
I know, but they may take the money back if you get a little too...
Yeah.
I think they want to perform the act to completion, and then I think they want Simon Cowell to be like, okay... You know what I mean?
Great,
like
Simon Cowell there.
It was terrible, Simon Cowell. But I read that and I thought, oh my God. First of all, just his persona. I guess it's just his persona, but I would imagine that Simon Cowell would have taken the money and ran with that.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Sure.
But also, if I'm in my imagination putting together a deal that I'm making with a couple, first of all, it would also have to depend on, like, is it bad to say what they look like? Because it's a lot different to watch
I guess
two good-looking people.
That's your sliding scale.
And two
right?
droolers.
Would you pay Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have to do for $500?
I feel like that would be like an art form.
Sure. Whereas the other end of the spectrum, you'd be like, listen, I need $1 million.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to give examples. Again, I'm not saying I probably look awful, but I don't know. I think it would depend on how the people look. I hate to be that way, but listen, if I'm getting paid to get judgy, I guess I'm going to start judging right away. It would depend on how the people look. And I feel like I would go in at 200 for a good looking couple, 5 for a not good looking couple. And, you got to, and then how to, if someone were to reach out to me now that we're talking about this and ask, what if I come back at them with a 500? They're going to be like, oh, so I'm ugly. I'm way overthinking this 5 steps ahead, and it's probably not going to happen. But talk about a dream job, am I right? Getting paid to critique people.
So wait, this came out because he was on a podcast saying someone came up to him and offered that?
Yeah, they had the host of the podcast had asked, what's the craziest experience that you've had with a fan? And his response was, and he did say, in all fairness, Simon Cowell did say that he did think about taking it. It was a serious consideration.
But also he makes $10 million or whatever. I'm making that up, like a season on things. So $150,000 to him, nothing crazy, right? Like, oh, that's nice. I could get another year.
Yeah, it means nothing, right?
Sure. But $150,000 to 99.8% of the population is life-changing.
Yeah, it really would be. I would do it. Yeah. I would do it. If anyone's offering, I'll do it for that much. But it would also have to be, you would have to have almost a contract. I don't want to sit there all night. None of this tantric nonsense.
You need a time limit.
You know what? You got to knock it out.
If it's Sting, you're like, no, Sting. Sorry.
Yes. I mean, I don't want to sit here for hours while you guys experiment with some weird shit. I just want you to get in and get out.
How weird is it, by the way, that in consecutive episodes we've mentioned Sting?
What? Yes, because if you didn't listen to yesterday's episode, we were talking about the P. Diddy trial, which led us to talking about how he, in our minds, I can't say this for sure, but we think that he took out Biggie, and then he came out allegedly, and then he came. I just feel like allegedly covers all the bases. I could say anything, and then if I say allegedly, I guess I don't have to worry about it. But anyway, then it got to Sting because P. Diddy came out with that song that sampled Sting's song, that creepy one about
I'll be
stalking.
Watching you.
And
now I'll be missing you.
Wow, you really made changes there, Puffy. And so we were talking about how he has to pay Sting $5,000 a day because he didn't get permission from Sting to use the song. Everybody knows that song. It's like sometimes when you hear of artists ripping off other artists, they're usually like low-level musicians who can't really fight back, or, people aren't very aware of them.
Sure. Like Dua Lipa's made a career of that.
Stop it. I love her.
She has, though.
Anyway, everybody knows that Sting song. And so it's like, what did you think was going to happen? But my question is, do you think the payments have stopped since he got arrested? Because doesn't the government freeze all of your assets when you're in this much trouble?
You know what? I've never been in this much trouble. I do not know.
Oh, man, he's in a lot of trouble. So anyway, that's how much I charge to watch people have sex. Thanks for listening.
Great job.
We've got a little bit more time to talk.
I have a question for you.
Go.
Do you think that health insurance is like a ripoff?
I think that I get bills and I'm like, wait a second, when the hell did this happen? When did I go to the doctor for this? I saw something the other day, a quote, and it said, the first bill that you get from insurance is your jump off point. Don't pay the first bill. that's where you begin negotiations, where you call and you say why, and you say why, and then you say, I want to talk to your manager, and then you want to say, I want to talk to the boss of the boss. I want to, you have to, when you're working with insurance, practically get to God to get any answers. So they say, if you get a bill, don't pay the bill. You call the insurance and you begin it. But who has time to sit there and then talk to somebody in another country where maybe you don't really understand what they're saying, and then you feel like a jerk because you have to be transferred to someone else?
So there's the complete, I have no idea what's going to cost, right? Like you're going in and you're like, this is just the Wild West. They're just going to say something and I'm gonna be like,
right.
What do I say? Sure, I have to get an x-ray or whatever it may be. There's that part of it, which can we fix that? The second part of it is for our family to have healthcare, right? It costs about $10,000 a year. That's what it costs to have healthcare. That's what we pay for our healthcare insurance. And then we have a like $10,000 deductible. So we have to pay $20,000. The first thing,
just to chink the ice,
just to have insurance.
Yeah.
So the reason I was thinking about this, we capped out last year, right?
Yeah.
And my knee hurts. And I don't want it. Like literally there's two things stopping me. One, if I have to have surgery on it, I want to delay it until after the summer. But two, I don't want to cap out on insurance again this year.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I want you to listen to me on this, okay? I believe you need to look into other things. You need to look into acupuncture. You need to look into physical therapy. You need to look into, because that's what they're going to tell you at the Dr. A. They're going to say, because when I had my back surgery, I had to go through all these different hoops and jump through, which we got billed on. You got to go to this doctor and you got to try this doctor. And then when you get to the end of the checklist, that's when they say, okay, we'll push you through to surgery. But surgery, we have met our deductible for a few years. I mean, not consecutive years, but there have been a few years. 1 year, like I said, when I had surgery, the year that we had Murphy.
Oh, yeah, we had, yeah.
The year that she broke her arm. And now we got your knee.
We've capped out. I guess so it's, I get it, right? That everything after that, okay, we're glad that we have it and whatnot. But really, I'd say that's 3 consecutive years that we've capped out. So 3 consecutive years, we've had to pay over $20,000 in medical expenses when we're relatively healthy.
Thank God. Knock on wood.
Right?
Right.
Kids are healthy. These are just like things that we've had to do.
And you know what really chaps my ass is the fact that you all the time hear about people who have insurance and they pay their insurance and they play the game. And then something big does happen. And then insurance comes back and says, oh, no, we're not going to cover that. And then they end up going bankrupt anyway. There's something so not okay about the system and how the system is ran. And I don't want to get super deep into it because I was just talking about how much would I get paid to watch people do it.
Right. But because of that, right? To do that. Okay, perfect. We have 7 years of healthcare because of that. You know what I mean?
That's true. For 100. Could you imagine if you agreed to do it, you took the money and you put it towards 7 years of health care?
That's about what it would be.
Yeah.
Our premium
yeah.
equals just under 10 grand a year.
Right.
Right. About $800 a month is what it costs our family to have health insurance.
And you kind of get why people don't have it, because who has that just extra money laying around?
But we would have gone well over $20,000 if we didn't have insurance.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
true.
So we would have, but like.
Hey, everybody, just popping in here right in the middle of the episode. Sorry to be annoying about it, but I want to tell you really quick about my friends at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air. I don't know about you, but it has been, where I'm at, it has been so up and down. One day you're like burning in your shorts, and then the next day it's raining. It's so rainy. And we need the moisture. You keep hearing people say that, but really you're thinking, God, I'm cold. I'm chilled to the bone. I like to know that I have a furnace and AC unit to kind of flip back and forth anytime the weather changes, because Colorado be crazy. And so I love my friends at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air because they just recently came out. We had Caleb Hart come out. That's the guy who works for them, one of the many wonderful employees, and he was so stellar. I'm not just saying this because they are a sponsor of the podcast. I'm saying it because the customer service from start to finish was A+. So much so that I went on Yelp and I gave them an A+ review, which I hardly ever do. I need to do that more. I think I need to do that more. I really only want to do it when I'm really angry at a place, but not Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air. I was so impressed. I felt compelled to jump on there and do that. That's the kind of customer service they have. Because lo and behold, when I got there to leave the review, guess what? There were a bunch of other people who had already beat me to the punch. And that says a lot about the business you're working with. So with spring, get that system checkup to make sure that it is running in tip-top shape. These are your go-to people. They're available 24/7, 365. My friends at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Just go to polarbearpha.com. It's a roll of the dice.
I don't know, because I'm paying $10,000 a year to have this. People are probably yelling either yes, I agree, or you're stupid because of this reason. But shouldn't I have health insurance and perfect. I don't have to pay for health insurance now because for my doctor's visit, because I'm paying $800 a month just to have this damn thing.
I know. It is the Wild West. It's the only enterprise that I can think of where they just come up with prices and you don't even, you go to Wendy's and you say, I want a Baconator. Thank you. You go to Wendy's, you say, I want a Baconator. Okay. The Baconator is $6. Okay. And then you go to McDonald's. They have a delicious bacon sandwich as well. You're just hankering for bacon. So you go to McDonald's and McDonald's has it for $5.27. So you have free choice to say, you know what? I'm going to save a little bit of coin and I'm going to eat the McDonald's bacon hamburger. Mm-hmm. And they don't do that in the doctor's office. You just get a bill in the mail.
Again, I do not pretend to be graduate level understanding health insurance. I'm sophomoric, if anything.
I think if you're on this podcast, people just assume.
Oh, yeah, sure. But we have health insurance through my employer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In network, out of network. So we have to be told where we're going. And then they get to charge us whatever we want.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Rather.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah. We don't get a say.
Who do we talk to about this?
I think more and more and more, though, people are, trusting less and less. Does that make sense? I don't want to get too deep, but I think that people are starting to look for outside options because it used to be, like you said, the doctor would say, you got to do this. And you'd be like, well, damn, okay, I'll go. Or the doctor would say, you got to get this shot. And you'd go, oh, okay, that sounds good. And then people start, I don't want to say waking up, but I think people are starting to ask more questions and say, this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable for it to be $800 a month for a family to have basic insurance where, hey, listen, if I got sick tomorrow, God forbid, I don't want to get sick, but if I got sick tomorrow, that would dry up in 2 treatments.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mess, but I think more and more people are feeling the squeeze from all angles, from food costs to insurance costs to all that. So that's why I think rich people should offer us poor people money to watch them have sex. And then I think we would have the circle of healing.
The circle of healing. That's what you could call it. You're offering. Listen, this is the circle of healing. For the low price of $7.99 a month, I'll watch you have sex once a month.
You know what? All you have to do is Venmo me and I'll pay the insurance bill. If you pay my insurance bill every month, I will do it. I mean, I'm doing it for my family, I was
going to say, you're doing it for your family? You're watching your family?
Ew,
I was going to say, what? But no, I was just like, literally the last week, I'm like walking around going, I need to make an appointment. I'm like,
I know.
Do I? That's the impediment.
I know.
Like, do I do that?
It's a big deal.
I don't know. Sorry.
Hey, did you hear there's a new Karate Kid type movie coming out? Will you look it up for me? It's got Jackie Chan and who's
Ralph
Karate
Macchio.
Kid? Yes, Ralph Macchio. And I'm thinking, no, wait, is this a Karate Kid remake, or is this another
Legends?
See, that's not Karate Kid.
Karate Kid Legends.
Oh, Okay, so it is the Karate
So they're
Kid.
bringing back let's see, Jaden Smith, Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio, all because of that success of the Netflix show
Cobra Kai.
People love Cobra Kai.
You know what? I think people, the bad guy from the first movie, the blonde dude, Johnny, I think he has become so lovable and endearing to people. Yeah. How in the 80s us would never have guessed that Johnny would one day be pulling at our heartstrings and we'd love him. I love him more than I love Ralph Macchio, if you're asking the truth.
I don't know if he's in this movie, though.
He is in the Johnny?
Johnny.
I don't know if Johnny's in the movie.
And I don't see him in the movie.
It's not like I'm going to be running out to the theaters to see this. I mean, I probably honestly will never see it.
Sure. Not to switch topics, but to speak about running out to the theater.
Yeah.
A couple things here. Pretty excited for the end of the month. Got 2 movies coming out that I'd love to see. One, Mission Impossible.
Got it.
I'm in on that. And then
it's
2,
where Tom Cruise plays the same character he plays in every
Ethan
movie.
Hunt, absolutely.
But I will absolutely go with you.
And then 2, Murphy and us get to go see Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
One. That's coming out too. Did you hear that AMC just announced yesterday that Wednesdays are 50% off days?
Well, so they won't be crowded at all.
No one's going to take them on. I mean,
are you insane during the summer?
During the summer, I guess. Air conditioning. Yeah, going out to them and whatnot.
That's what I'm talking about. You're going to have a hard time not being surrounded by booger eaters. That's why you got to wait till it's been in the theater for a while. Don't go opening weekend.
Those are ones I don't want to wait a long time for.
Really?
Especially Mission Impossible. I like the Mission Impossible movies.
You want to be surrounded by Chads who are like, yeah, and high-fiving?
I'll high-five anybody in the Mission Impossible movie.
Oh, gross. Who did I marry? I will say that judging by everything I've seen with this Lilo and Stitch movie and everything that I've heard, it's going to do a lot better than Snow White did, which was their last live-action movie, which... I'm trying to remember the numbers on that. It was like they paid $160 million. No. Was it almost $1 billion? See, this is where that's a big jump, and I can't remember.
It's estimated to lose $115 million. It cost $410 to make, and its final global box office would be $225.
Yeah, so it lost a lot of money. And they say it's because it kind of got a little bit woke. And then the star of the show, the Snow White herself,
didn't do any favors.
Did not help the cause at all. I mean, everybody kind of disliked her.
But Lilo and Stitch is like one of those
top tier.
I don't know if I'd say cult, right? Because it's not like Lion King or any of the.
It's a lot of people's favorite,
but people love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. But if you listen to me, which I think you'd be smart to do so. We take her to the midnight showing, or we go when it's
midnight showing. When's the last time you saw midnight?
Oh my God. Not even on New Year's Eve. What if I told you that? Well, you were with me.
Yeah.
Not even on New Year's Eve have I
No, literally, when's the last time, without taking a nap, when's the last time you just stayed up to see midnight?
Oh God.
I bet you it's been years.
It's been years. Yeah.
Because the New Year's Eve, which is standard, no, there's 3 or 4 of them. No, absolutely not.
I don't understand that. I'd prefer to just wake up and have all the hubbub be over. You know, we're in a new year. Let's start fresh. Why do we? I don't even romanticize that night anymore.
Yeah.
It's just everybody go to bed.
You haven't been up for New Year's or midnight forever. So no, we're not going to go to a midnight showing. Although we did. God, what midnight? Like years ago.
We went to see the Batman movie.
Oh, the Nolan Batman stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. At midnight. And that was the last time I actually stayed up till midnight.
Probably.
It's like
you fell asleep in the theater.
Yeah. It was like in 2009. Anyway, so, gosh, we've covered a lot of bases today. We still have 9 minutes, so don't worry. We're here for the... I know, you're looking at me and I'm looking at you. So, circling back, I want to give a P. Diddy trial update. I'm embarrassed to say I'd like to do this every episode till this wraps up because...
Thank God it's just not Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds anymore.
I know, God. They still suck, though. They're done. They're done. There is no redeeming...
I don't know. He's out. Reynolds was just on Conan's podcast.
It doesn't matter. I don't care because there are too many people like me who say it doesn't matter. I don't care. That'll be the one episode I'm not going to listen to. They are done. I think they've been proven and shown that they're dicks, and I don't like that. And so, frankly, I'm never going to support them again. I don't think they care, but I think if enough of us do it, I think they do care because they're seeing what happens when people rise up and they're like, you suck. You're not a very nice person, so, we're not going to support you. Anyway, where the hell was I going with that? Oh, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
The P. Diddy
I'm sorry
trial.
I mentioned.
Okay, so P. Diddy dated this girl. Her name is Cassie Ventura. And I gave kind of I gave like a rundown yesterday on the podcast, just in case you missed it. But it was the first day of the trial. Now we're on to day 2. Yesterday was wild because they actually had a male escort who P. Diddy would have come and, oh my God, way circling back, P. Diddy would watch his girlfriend with the male escort, and he would record it, which I wouldn't do if anyone offers me the money. This is strictly between us. But anyway, he would record it. And so that was who was testifying yesterday. And he was talking about the fact that it wasn't, he got hired a few times. He made between $700, which I'd be like, to $6,000 a night. And
just depending on how he felt.
Just depending on how the mood was. Okay. I mean, here's kind of something funny that came out. P. Diddy was sitting in the room. What a cornball. He's sitting in the room with a hat on, just a towel on, and a bandana around his face. But he didn't in any way try to change his voice. He was P. Diddy. And so anytime he would talk, the guy's like, yeah, I clearly knew who it was. What a dummy. But anyway, he's not doing any of the work. He's just sitting in the corner watching. And so it would be upon his fancy when the party would start and when the party would end. And so this guy came out, and that was pretty much the biggest testimony. Now, it does suck that his kids have to be there. I got to wonder how much they saw in that weird house of horrors. But I did read that his twin daughters, here's a weird fact. His twin daughters dress alike constantly.
That scares the hell out of me.
They're both 20 years old, obviously. They're twins. So anyway, they were in the courtroom dressed alike, and they started talking about how do
I say this? In the testimony, they're asking for it to be very descriptive.
Yes, and it is very descriptive, and it is very disturbing. And so today, and I'll give an update tomorrow. I bet y'all can't wait. But today, Cassie is going to be taking the stand. She's currently 8 months pregnant. She's so pretty. And I think that he needs to just get his ass thrown in jail. Just the way he treated her. He was so awful, and he beat her up. And God, what a weak man. And so anyway, but back to the twins that dress alike. They kept leaving the courtroom because things got, you don't want to hear about that stuff about your dad, all the freaky deaky stuff that your dad's into. And so they left the courtroom. It was reported. Then they came back, and then some more freaky stuff came up, and they left the courtroom that time permanently. They didn't come back. Sure. How do you sit there? You want to show your support to your dad, but then they're talking about all this completely twisted stuff that he was doing and he was into, and he's recording things, and so much. But this is going to go on for a while because they got a long list of people that they need to interview.
And so we are going to be lucky enough to hear about this every day, huh?
Until it's done. But I'll just take the little last part of the show just to give a Diddy update, an update on the diddler.
You need like a sounder for it.
I really do. Diddy update. It needs to be really upbeat. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Talk to you tomorrow. I hate ending because I never sound natural. Talk to you tomorrow. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Going to give another shout out to an amazing sponsor. They've been with me for so long. It's Christiana Salon Spa. Go to christianasalonspa.com and make that appointment. Whether you want to go in and get a fresh new look, you got to get a fade, think that's what the kids call it. You want to make sure that your hair looks good. The last time I went into Christiana, it's been too long, but I got my hair colored and it was like this Coca-Cola color. Oh, I loved it so much, but it's starting to kind of wear off. So I'm going to be making another appointment. But if you want a massage, you want a facial, you want to get your nails done, maybe you're planning a girls' day. This is the perfect place for a girls' day. It is bougie inside and out, but it is reasonably priced. So why wouldn't you go check them out? They're in Johnstown, right by the Shields. Christiana Salon Spa, a proud sponsor of the Sadie and Friends podcast.